Have you ever woken up with the feeling that something powerful happened in your dream, but you can't remember it? A sense that something beyond this world touched you in the night and slipped away before the morning light could catch it? What if I told you that forgetting your dreams isn't a flaw, but a sign, a code, a divine strategy to protect what is sacred? This isn't just about memory. This is about destiny, about you, and why your soul is being watched, trained, and hidden. If you feel like you don't belong here, if you've always sensed that your life has a deeper meaning, if you carry a quiet knowing inside you that you were chosen for something greater, then this message is for you. Because today, I'm going to reveal a truth no one talks about, the real reason why you forget your dreams, and how this forgotten realm holds the blueprint of your divine calling. But listen closely, because this isn't just another theory. This is spiritual intel, meant only for those with eyes to see. And if you're here, you were meant to hear this. Now, before we open the door to what's been hidden from you, I want you to do 3 things right now. Like this video if you feel this message already touching something deep inside. Subscribe if you know you're walking a path that few understand. And comment 99 below. Why 99? Because it's the number of the one who left the crowd, the one who strayed from the ordinary, and was found by purpose. You're not like the others. You never were. And what I'm about to say will remind you of the truth your soul never forgot. Let's begin. There is a world behind your eyelids, not a fantasy, not a hallucination, but a realm more real than this one, where truth is unveiled and the veil of the natural is lifted. Dreams are not random. They are spiritual corridors, designed for those who have been marked for something greater. And if you are one of the chosen, then you've already been walking these corridors. Even if you don't remember, even if all you wake up with is a racing heart, a shadow of a voice, a sense that something important just slipped through your fingers. But what if I told you, you were there, fully conscious, fully engaged, but on a level your waking mind can't yet comprehend? Because dreams are not escapes. They are encounters. The chosen are called into them, not to wander, but to receive. To receive visions, instructions, codes, sometimes even assignments from realms higher than your own understanding. You see, in your dreams, you're not just seeing, you're being seen. Angels watch you. Frequencies shift around you. The atmosphere bends, because your presence isn't just physical, it's spirit-charged. That's why some of the most important moments of your life may have already happened in dreams you can't recall. But why can't you remember? Because the mind has limits, but the spirit has levels. God doesn't trust deep revelations to shallow memory. What you forget in your mind, He embeds in your spirit. It's sealed, hidden, protected, until the moment your destiny needs it. Some truths are too heavy for the present version of you, so they're encrypted, locked behind the veil of forgetting, not as punishment, but as divine preservation. This is why your dreams often feel just out of reach, because they are. They are echoing from the future, pulling you forward, guiding you not with clarity but with mystery, because mystery creates movement. And your movement is awakening prophecy. You are not lost. You are being led. And here's the part no one dares to say. There are dreams you're not meant to remember yet, because if you did, the enemy would know exactly where to hit you. This is a war of revelation versus timing, and you're forgetting. It's not weakness, it's strategy. Because He who chose you is still protecting what you carry. But what happens when that veil starts to lift? What happens when you're finally allowed to remember and act? because that moment is closer than you think. And when it comes, your whole reality will shift. You'll no longer just feel chosen, you'll know it. While the world sleeps, the spirit realm wakes up. The moment your eyes close, something ancient begins to stir. Because sleep doesn't mean silence, it means transition. And for the chosen, it means entry into a different battlefield. Let this sink in. Every night, you lay your body down, but your spirit stands up. And the moment it does, you are seen, not just by heaven, but by darkness. The enemy does not fear who you are now. He fears who you're becoming. He sees your future before you do. He sees your impact, your light, your voice, and his mission is to stop it before it wakes up fully. That's why your dream life isn't just imagination, it's a war zone, and most people have no idea they're fighting battles while they sleep. But you felt it, that sudden jolt in the middle of the night, that unshakable heaviness on your chest, that strange figure watching in the corner of your dream, that voice that almost spoke a name, and then vanished. It's not just a bad dream. It's a signal, because the enemy doesn't break into empty houses. He only invades what has value. And if your dreams are being targeted, it's because your destiny is dangerous. Now hear me. The devil doesn't care about people who are spiritually asleep. But when you start to awaken, when your spirit begins to remember who you really are, he panics. So he sends distractions, false dreams, night terrors, emotional residue that clings to you in the morning, trying to pull you off course before you even begin your day. But here's where the real mystery lies. You're not fighting this war alone. God has encrypted your dreams, like hidden scrolls, only readable when your spirit is ready, only accessible when your protection is strong enough. Because some visions are too pure, too prophetic, to be exposed to contamination. You're not forgetting because you're weak. You're forgetting because your dreams are guarded. Divine amnesia, holy firewalls, spiritual shielding. Because if the enemy could fully see what God is preparing in you, he'd launch a war greater than your current maturity could withstand. So God does something brilliant. He hides the blueprint inside your soul and lets your life gradually catch up to the revelation. He doesn't reveal it all at once. He trains you through darkness and teaches you through silence. Even in sleep, the chosen are being refined. Not by comfort, but by clash. Every attack sharpened your discernment. Every dream stolen only increased your hunger. And every battle, fought in the night, was a seed of fire planted in your spirit for the day you rise fully awake. Because that day is coming, and the enemy knows it. That's why the attacks have been increasing. That's why the dreams have grown more chaotic. That's why your sleep feels like work instead of rest. But what the enemy doesn't realize is that you're learning his patterns. You're remembering without remembering. You're seeing without your eyes. Your spirit is storing things that your memory cannot contain. And here's the twist. What you think you've lost in the night is actually waiting to return at the appointed time. Not as a dream, but as revelation. Because when the chosen begin to awaken, the stolen dreams don't come back the same. They come back transformed, empowered, charged with divine clarity, and the moment that happens, the battle shifts. But not in the way you expect. Because what if I told you, the next time you sleep, you won't just be defending your purpose, you'll be activating it. Have you felt it lately? That strange tension between knowing something is happening inside you and not being able to explain it? Like your dreams are still happening, but instead of waking up with a clear image, you wake up with a knowing, presence, a vibration, a whisper in your chest that says, something was revealed last night, even if I can't remember what. That's not confusion, that's activation, because your soul is awakening. And when the soul awakens, it doesn't need details, it needs alignment. This is why your memory may be forgetting more dreams than usual. Not because you're drifting further from the truth, but because you're getting closer to it. The message has shifted levels, from your surface mind to your eternal spirit. You're entering a new phase, where God no longer speaks to you only through symbols, but through internal shifts. Deep spiritual realignments that go beyond words. This is why you've been feeling different. You've outgrown certain places, certain people, even parts of yourself. It's not random. It's recalibration. Your subconscious is no longer operating on survival mode. It's syncing with something divine, something timeless, something you were always meant to become. And here's the part most people miss. Awakening doesn't always feel like light. Sometimes it feels like pressure, silence, emotional disconnection from things that once felt safe. Because when your soul starts remembering its true identity, the old version of you begins to fall away. And when that happens, your dreams start to change. They go from scattered and symbolic to targeted and timed, but you might not remember them because they're no longer being stored in your head. They're being sealed in your spirit's DNA. Let me say this clearly. Your spirit is collecting data. Your mind is not yet qualified to process. That's why you wake up feeling different, even if you can't explain why. That's why you walk into certain rooms and feel an immediate shift, like you've stepped into a frequency you've encountered before, but can't place. That's not déjà vu. That's your soul recognizing coordinates from your dream encounters. You've been there, in the spirit, and now your physical life is catching up. This is the stage where most people give up, because they want clarity more than transformation. They want to remember instead of becoming. But if you're still watching this, you're not most people. You're part of a remnant that senses the inner rumble, that unshakable pull that says, there's more. I'm not done evolving. I'm not done remembering. You're not just dreaming anymore. You're being reconstructed. And just like a seed must crack before it can rise, your old self had to forget so your true self could emerge, because what's coming next isn't just for the dreamer you were. It's for the warrior prophet you're becoming. But before that version of you is fully revealed, something unexpected will happen. A spiritual echo, a return, an unlocking of a dream you forgot long ago, but never truly lost. And when it returns, it won't be a dream anymore. It'll be your awakening. Have you ever woken up more tired than when you went to bed? Not physically exhausted, but spiritually drained, as if you just returned from a battle you don't remember fighting? That's not your imagination. That's the training of the chosen. Because while the world sleeps for rest, you sleep for refinement. The chosen ones are trained, not just in daylight, where the lessons are obvious, but in the midnight realm, where heaven whispers instructions in code. You don't just dream. You absorb, you engage, you wrestle with truth. Every night, your spirit enters a different classroom, a different battlefield, a different layer of God's blueprint for your becoming. And the lessons? They're not always beautiful. They don't always make sense. They come as strange symbols, as rapid-fire scenes, as ancient languages your waking mind can't translate. But your soul understands everything. That's why you wake up feeling different, even when you can't explain why. Because spirit learns before memory catches up. But here's what most don't realize. Not every lesson is meant to be remembered. Some are meant to be embedded. Some are meant to build your foundation quietly. without applause, without clarity, without explanation. Because true growth is often silent. The ego wants to remember. The ego wants to boast in revelation. But God doesn't train you for attention. He trains you for assignment. And sometimes, He hides your own progress from you. So pride won't contaminate your preparation. This is why you've been feeling the tension. Why you've been sensing a deep work happening in the dark. Why, even in stillness, your soul feels active. Because behind the scenes of your sleep, you've been tested, you've been sharpened, you've been trusted with high-level simulations that most people never access. Dreams where you're interceding, without words. Dreams where you're facing shadows you didn't know you carried. Dreams where the lesson is not to conquer, but to endure. And with each of these hidden trainings, your spirit grows stronger. Your discernment gets sharper. Your authority begins to rise. But God keeps it quiet. Because destiny isn't built in noise. It's built in shadows, in whispers, in deep places where ego can't follow. You are being trained not just to know truth, but to carry it, and that takes weight. It takes pressure. It takes secret shaping that doesn't always come with signs or confirmations. That's why you're here. Why you're still watching. Why you can feel the pull, even when you can't explain the source. You are not just dreaming. You're being discipled in the dark. But something is shifting. You're reaching a threshold. A moment where the lessons begin to surface. Where what was hidden begins to glow. Where the sealed knowledge from your night seasons starts to move. Through your words, your choices, your presence, and the enemy knows it. That's why you've been under pressure lately. That's why the warfare has escalated. Because the final phase of training is almost complete. And when it is, you won't just remember who you are. You'll move differently, speak differently, command atmospheres differently. Because the chosen don't graduate with diplomas. They graduate with authority, and yours is coming. Let this settle in your spirit. Forgetting does not mean your dream was meaningless. It means what you saw was too sacred to be exposed just yet. Because in the realm of the chosen, memory is not a right. It's a mark of readiness. When God allows you to remember a dream, He's not just giving you insight. He's giving you an assignment, and not everyone is ready to carry that weight. You see, there are revelations so explosive, so deeply tied to your calling, that releasing them too early could derail your destiny. God doesn't hide things to tease you. He hides them to protect you. Because some dreams are not just about what you saw. They're about what you'll do once you see it. And if He showed it too soon, you might act out of fear instead of faith. You might share it with the wrong people. You might move before the anointing has matured. So He seals it. He hides the vision in your spirit like a seed in the soil. Silent, unseen, but alive. And when the time is right, when your character has caught up with your calling, when your spirit can carry what your mind couldn't comprehend before, He unlocks it. That's why sometimes you'll wake up in the middle of the night, heart racing, feeling like you saw something massive. But the images have already slipped away. It wasn't lost, it was filed. God archived it, because you're not supposed to process it yet. You're supposed to grow into it. This is why remembering is such a rare grace. It's a holy moment, a divine permission to act. Because with every remembered dream comes a question from heaven. Will you steward this? Will you carry this with obedience? Will you honor what others would exploit? That's the weight of it. That's why some of your most powerful dreams were followed by silence. Not because they didn't matter, but because they mattered too much to mishandle. Chosen one. If you've been craving more memories, more dreams, more clarity, know this. God is not holding back to punish you. He's preparing you to hold more, Because remembering always leads to responsibility, and responsibility opens doors that talent alone never could. The dreams are not gone. They're waiting, like scrolls behind a locked gate in heaven's library, with your name on them. And when that gate opens, it won't just be revelation. It'll be a release. But here's the part you must be ready for. When God lets you remember. It won't come as a dream. It will come as a call to action. And when it does, you'll have a decision to make. Because remembering is no longer about knowing. It's about becoming. And some of the things you've been asking to remember might cost you the comfort you're still clinging to. The question is, are you truly ready for what remembering will require? Because once it comes, you can't unsee it. You can't go back. And the world will no longer see you as just another person. They'll see what you carry. They'll feel the weight of what you've seen. They'll sense the authority of someone who's been behind the veil and returned with a message. That time is near, closer than you think. And when the veil lifts, you'll realize you were never just dreaming. You were being prepared to reveal something eternal. Chosen one. You're not losing your dreams. You're being forged by them. Every night, every silence, every forgotten vision is not an absence. It's an anointing in disguise. You are not being overlooked. You are being over-prepared for something far greater than your mind can comprehend right now, because what's coming will require every scar, every night of confusion, every season where you felt like heaven went quiet. But heaven was never quiet. It was strategic. God has been speaking in layers, downloading blueprints into your spirit, not your memory, because what you carry is too holy for casual recall. You were never meant to remember like the rest. You were meant to awaken. You were chosen to carry fire, not fragments. To walk in revelation, not just recollection. That's why the silence has been so loud. That's why the dreams have felt just out of reach, because your spirit is expanding, becoming the answer you were always seeking. You are not forgotten. You are being refined. You are not behind. You are becoming aligned. You are not dreaming less. You are hearing more clearly than ever before. Now is not the time to shrink. Now is the time to stand, to prepare, to stay faithful when clarity hasn't yet arrived. Because when it does, you won't just see the vision. You'll be, the vision. This is your call to rise. Heaven remembers you, even when you don't remember your dreams. And soon, the seal will break, the veil will lift, and everything God hid inside of you will ignite in perfect timing. So declare it now, right now. Type it in the comments below. I'm not forgotten.